Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Police Accountability Board meeting for today, June the 16th, 2025. Let's begin with a roll call. District 1.
P. Fitzpatrick for District 1.
Good afternoon, Peter. District 2.
Yes, Karen Williams, present.
Karen, I'm yours truly is District 3. District 4.
Stephanie Betterson, present.
Stephanie. District 5.
Renee Strive, present.
Renee. District 6, Scott's out today. He sent us a conflict of scheduling. District 7.
Dawn DeShawn Fewer, District 7.
And Dawn. And at large, let's see, District 6 at large is, well,
Those are the districts, so yeah.
I'm sorry, at large,
Arrow White.
Nigeria and
We got Kara, RSP, Nigeria, still needs
Nigeria?
Yep, Kara's here.
Gary, all right. Thank you. Everybody's present except Scott, and he told us he had a conflict with schedule. Welcome to our meeting today. You should have received from Kelly a copy of our last meeting's minutes. Hopefully you've had a chance to peruse them. If you have any questions, thoughts, or any changes that need to be made, if you want to state those quickly, and if not, if there were no changes, I will accept a motion to adopt those minutes.
Make a motion to adopt the April 21st, 2025 minutes as presented.
Can I get a second, please?
I second it.
All righty, properly moved in second that those minutes from our last meeting of April the 21st be adopted as documented with, and so orders, so it is. All right, moving right along, we got some new business today.
I'll start with trial boards.
Okay, we're going to change around our agenda slightly because we're hoping the chief will visit us today as well. So we're going to invite Henry Calgary to get started with us today.
All right. Thank you, Chair. Just two brief updates. First, an update on some trial boards that have previously been held. Since our last meeting, there was a trial board on April 30th, 2025 for excessive use of force, rude and discourteous conduct, and failure to notify a supervisor of use of force. The officer was found not guilty for excessive use of force and pled guilty to rude and discourteous conduct and failure to notify a supervisor. There was also a trial board on May 14th for failure to take appropriate police action. The officer was found guilty of that violation. Both of those cases originated at the Administrative Charging Committee level. Also, just to let folks know that my last day with Baltimore County is Wednesday. I will be taking a position with the Maryland State Police starting next week. So it has been my pleasure to work with everybody on this board. I got the chance to speak with all of you one-on-one and of course in these meetings, and I'm very proud of the work that you all put into making this board a success. I think that Baltimore County has done a fantastic job of being amongst the leaders in the state and getting everything up and running and complying with the mandate that the General Assembly and County Council have put on you all. I can say that the individuals who interviewed and were chosen for the Administrative Charging Committee and trial boards have done a fantastic job. This board has a very serious responsibility to appoint qualified individuals to those positions, and it has done that. I think our annual reports are among the more detailed and thorough of any other jurisdiction in the state. And I believe that as we move forward, I am very confident this board will continue to do excellent work as it moves into a new stage now that the law has been in effect for several years, now that the Administrative Charging Committee has been up and running for now almost 2 years. I'm excited to see what this county does going forward. I'll still be here. I'm still a county resident. I'll be down the road in Pikesville, so not too far away. And I'm very, I'm honored to have had the opportunity to work with you all, and I'm excited to see what you all are able to do going forward.
Well, we're excited to work with you as well. You have been a tremendous asset to this board.
Thank you.
I don't know how we would have come as far as we've come without you.
Thank you.
That's a fact. So we wish you the best.
Thank you. And do want to introduce Lauren Phillips. Lauren is the Assistant Deputy Administrative Officer for Public Safety. She'll be stepping in the interim to fill my duties and work with you all. So if you have any questions, Kelly and Lauren are the best two people to reach out to. Obviously, Alec as our representative in the Office of Law as well. But I'm sure you'll be in good hands.
Awesome. It's not hard to tell Lauren from you. She's got hair.
That's true.
Oh. So proud.
Make sure that doesn't get in the minute.
Mannerisms forever.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be on YouTube forever, so.
No, I personally, I'm so glad that Henry was part of us to get started. And I know all of us wish him the best going forward, and hopefully we'll see him sometimes in passing. So
Absolutely.
God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All righty. While we're still waiting, I'm going to back into our agenda again and ask Dawn, are you ready to make your report?
I'm actually going to start at the bottom because I realized I had a typo when I triple checked this morning. So if anybody has a hard copy, I'm starting at the bottom of page 1 and then I'll
Okay.
back up to the top.
It's at the
just
very
to
bottom
correct
of
it.
your packet.
And I did email an updated copy to Kelly and Henry, so that will be included in the minutes, the corrected version.
Okay.
One complaint for use of force, rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior, prisoner guarding policy violation. That officer was not charged for the use of force and was charged for rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior and charged for the prisoner guarding policy violation. It previously said not charged, but that's it.
Okay.
So back up to the top. 10 departmental accidents, all 10 charged. 11 complaints for rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior, conduct, or language. 9 not charged, 2 charged. 14 use of force policy violation, 14 not charged. 2 complaints for harassment, 2 not charged. 2 complaints for racial bias, discrimination, or profiling, 2 not charged. 3 complaints for search, seizure, or entry policy violations, 3 not charged. 2 complaints for improper traffic stop or seizure, 2 not charged. 1 complaint for failure to provide medical aid, not charged. 2 complaints for theft, 2 not charged. 1 complaint for causing an injury during arrest, not charged. 2 complaints for conduct unbecoming of a Baltimore County police officer on duty, 2 not charged. 1 complaint for perjury, not charged. 1 complaint for lying, not charged. 1 complaint for assault off duty and theft off duty, not charged. 1 complaint for assault off duty and threats of violence by phone off duty, not charged. 1 complaint for investigation procedure policy violation and improper threat of arrest, not charged. 1 complaint for improper threat of arrest, not charged. 1 complaint for improper arrest, not charged. 2 complaints for investigation procedure policy violations, 2 not charged. 1 complaint for improper detention and search, seizure, or entry policy violation, not charged. 1 complaint for failure to take required police action and failure to write a required report, and body worn camera policy violation. That officer was charged for all 3. 1 complaint for use of force policy violation, theft, medical or mental treatment policy violation, and rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior, not charged. 1 complaint for harassment and body worn camera policy violation, and that officer was not charged for harassment, but was charged for body worn camera policy violation. 1 complaint for sex offense and search, seizure, or entry policy violation, not charged. 1 complaint for conduct unbecoming on duty and conduct unbecoming off duty, charged for both. 4 complaints for use of force and rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior, 3 were not charged, and 1 was charged for the rude and discourteous behavior only. 1 complaint for use of force policy violation and body worn camera policy violation, not charged. 1 use of force policy violation and retaliation, not charged. 1 complaint for writing an inaccurate report, investigation procedure policy violation, and failure to recover evidence, not charged. 1 complaint for racial bias, discrimination, or profiling, search, seizure, or entry policy violation, and search warrant procedure violation, not charged. 3 complaints for rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior and investigation procedure policy violation, 3 not charged. 1 complaint for use of force and inaccurately completing a charging document, not charged. 1 complaint for investigation procedure policy violation and failure to provide name and ID, not charged. 3 complaints for rude, discourteous, or unprofessional behavior and racial bias, discrimination, or profiling, 3 not charged. And 1 complaint for rude, discourteous, unprofessional behavior and body worn camera policy violation, not charged. That is a total of 83 cases, all involving Baltimore County Police Department members and totaling 23 use of force cases. There's a typo at the top too. It says rendered 3 opinions. It should be 83. So I'll re-correct that and send it again.
Okay.
Thanks, Dawn.
Anybody have any questions? Yeah, that was a lot.
Any questions for Dawn? Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Always for representing us so well on the ACC. Thank you so much. All righty. Oh, welcome, Chief. Good to see you.
Good morning.
You're a survivor.
Yes, sir.
You really are. We've been watching you.
It's the grace of God.
Right, absolutely. So welcome this morning, and with your men that are with you, Major Gorman and Captain Chang. We're glad they're here as
I
well.
also have our legal counsel.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir? Good. Chief, it's all on you now.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the PAB. It's an honor to appear before you this morning. I want to thank you first and foremost for the continued work that's being done by the PAB and the ACC in terms of police accountability. We continue to work at our efforts on our end, both operationally and administratively, to continue all the good work that has been done over the past several years under our police reform efforts in the police department. And we continue to emphasize just the sanctity of life, to monitor the use of force. And unfortunately, we've had several incidents throughout this year where we've had to use deadly force in some pretty tough situations. And unfortunately, sometimes people are injured, and unfortunately, sometimes there's a loss of life. But we don't lose focus on the sanctity of life and the importance of making sure that we protect the members of our community, the residents that live in Baltimore County, but also be mindful of the overall health and wellness of our employees also, and taking care of them. I want to focus on also, in listening to these complaints. I first want to thank Major Gorman and Captain Shanks for the work that's being done in internal affairs. They continue to work hand in hand with the ACC and dealing with not only the external complaints, but the number of internal complaints that are occurring in the police department with their current staffing. And I think we're seeing numbers overall going down, but I want to thank them for the work that they do as part of our overall reform efforts with the police department. As I've spoken of in the past, and it's coming to fruition, is I want to thank the county executive and the council for providing funding and space to move the internal affairs section outside of the public safety building here in Central Towson, where they'll be much more accessible to the public, where the public can come and go freely at the new internal affairs office that will be located at 305 Washington Avenue, just around the corner from here. And we're excited about our internal affairs section moving there. With that, I would like to ask anyone if they have any questions of me as the chief. And then following that, I have Mr. Ernie Reitz, the officer of law with me. He has put together some information that I've asked him to speak to you all about.
Any questions for the chief?
I see Dr. Tolson has one. We have public, I just want to make sure that she knows we see her question, but we do public comment at the end of the agenda. So we'll make sure to unmute and call on the doctor then.
So, Mr. Reitz, if you want to come over here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to comment on the efficacy of both the PAB and the ACC in Baltimore County since the Police Reform Act of 2021. We have found that having dual bodies in the county to focus on police accountability has worked extremely well. And just as the legislature intended, the PAB has been focused on trends and data analysis and policy recommendations. And the ACC, for their part, gets into the weeds with the individual complaints. Having these separate functions allows each of them to really have a great focus on their specific matters. It's the, so I should also say I sit as a member of the statewide police advisors work group, and the consensus amongst our work, the statewide legal advisor, police legal advisors, is that the PAB and the ACC were designed and intended to operate and perform separate functions. And statewide, I hear from my colleagues that, I mean, obviously there are tweaks that can be made, but the dual roles of each of the bodies in each county is really working as designed by the legislature. And you know, the public safety article provides the details for the responsibilities of each of the respective groups. The Police Accountability Board is governed by 3-102 of the public safety article and outlines their duties and responsibilities and limitations. And then the ACC is section 3-104 of the public safety article, and which also provides the groundwork for how that board operates and what their responsibilities are. Again, the legislative intent, it's the consensus of both the county office of law as well as the statewide police legal advisors, is that the roles of each board are distinct, unique, and help to have two bodies in each county who look at police accountability from different angles and have, again, different responsibilities to their constituents. So I just wanted to, I was asked to address the distinct roles and responsibilities of each board. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but I hope that provides some clarity about why the PAB does not look at individual cases and the ACC does not make policy suggestions. So, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Any questions? Any questions? All right. No questions, then we'll move on. Is more reports, Chief, from your group?
No, I was simply going to add to Ernie, to his comments, is that we frequently receive, there's always conversation about the role of the PAB and the ACC, and there seems to be amongst the public and some people that there's some confusion about those roles. So that's why I asked Ernie to come today and kind of be present to answer any questions or to address any confusion that members of the public may have about both bodies.
That's certainly been part of the conversation around this table, particularly in our last meeting, both publicly and the board itself. And we certainly had a vote on what we thought should be a change in the procedures that we have. And it did not pass, the motion did not pass, but that does not mean that there's still some thoughts about that. I think the key word that we wrestle with has been the word accountability. What that really means versus maybe advisory and what that really means. So that's about been part of our setting, but thank you for sharing and thank you for bringing to light what the policies intend to do.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And that's all we have from the police department.
Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time to be here, Chief. We really do.
And I apologize for being slightly late. I was dealing with
We-
a personal issue.
We understand. We're just back when you can make it and share a few minutes with us. So thank you and stay safe out there.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
All right.
Will the chief of the staff be able to stay and respond to questions or comments from the public?
So only the chief can answer that.
We can.
All right, great. So with that in mind, so that we
Well,
don't.
before we turn to public comment, I just do want to say,
Yeah.
because I was remiss in mentioning this earlier, but I wanted to thank Kara White for her service in the PAB as an at-large member, time here on the board, and particularly her work on the annual reports, of which drafting work for the last 2 years, and has played an important part in making that document, I think, something that is very polished and professional and has quite a bit of information. And also, just again, that this past General Assembly session, they did adopt the one of the statewide reforms that this board called on, which was the change to the year and a day deadline for the ACC to reach a decision in cases where an officer is criminally under investigation or charged. So I think that's one impact of the PAB that's already been felt. And I think as the law continues to be in implementation and continues to become more routine, so to speak, there will be more changes that are probably going to be made at the statewide level. And I think this board plays an important role in directing that and making sure it's grounded in the data and the information that we have available. And so I want to thank Kara for that as she steps off the board.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you all who I've worked with. I appreciate being a part of the board. And I hope that you continue to do the good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And we wish you the best.
And on that note, we have been holding interviews to fill the vacancy. Since it's an at-large vacancy, the procedure is a little bit different than it is for the council manic districts that 7 of the 9 seats are filled by, in that the county executive will nominate a member of the public, from any council district, without council manic recommendation, but the council does vote to make the final appointment. So we hope to have, again, I won't be here, but we hope to have a appointee in place, certainly in plenty of time for the next meeting in September.
I assume our board makeup will shift along with the county council district.
Redistrict.
Don, that is a fantastic question for the Office of Law to dive into when the council district lines are finalized, because I know that will impact not only the number of members, but also which council people are representing which districts and it'll change who lives in which council district. So I'm sure that will be something that is going to be addressed, because I know there are other boards and commissions that use council manic districts as a membership structure. So I'm sure it'll be part of the process.
Awesome. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate
All
that.
right, let me get on the public comment side of things. With forward to WebEx here to hop on. Sorry, I should have done that earlier.
Alrighty, so I think we're on to public comment.
Yep, just give me 1 second to hop on so I can pull the timer up.
Okay.
Sam already in. All right. Quick second here. We should be good to go. I'm going to share the timer. It's a simple process here. All right.
All right, our timer's up. We ask the public, those who are contributing to do your best to honor the time frame. I think the first one we had was Dr.
Tolson.
Tolson.
Yes.
Dr. Tolson?
Afternoon, everyone. I wanted to first thank the police officers for their service. The other thing is I was listening to the numbers. There were very few officers charged. And are those numbers public numbers to the community?
Are those numbers public numbers to the community?
Yes.
And they are,
Made public.
absolutely,
Yeah.
they are.
Okay, because I would think they would find that very interesting that very few of them were charged. The second question was the PAB board. Y'all were saying as far as your roles and duties, as far as not looking at individual cases. I'm a little confused still with the roles and duties. Because if one send in a complaint, you know, where does it go? Into the black hole, or should the name be changed from the police accountability board, or just give me some feedback. Thank you.
Yeah,
One of you.
I mean, I can answer the logistical question that the complaints are when someone makes, they can be made directly to the PAB in two ways. There's an email address, and there's also a form on the Police Accountability Board website. The information in that form is forwarded to Internal Affairs. It isn't viewed by any members of the board. To do so would require the board to convene an open meeting, and as we just heard from Office of Law, the statute doesn't provide for the PAB reviewing complaints. But it is there, every case, every complaint is forwarded to the department, including those that don't necessarily, you know, if it's general, they'll still get forwarded. So the information is always submitted to the department for investigation by Internal Affairs. And that begins the year and a day clock by which it needs to go to the Administrative Charging Committee, and they need to issue a decision at that point.
And Dr. Tolson, thank you for the question. Again, I'm Ernie Wrights. I'm the legal advisor from the Office of Law assigned to the police department. The belief of the statewide legal advisor, police legal advisors, is that the PAB, as far as the ability or the procedure for accepting complaints, it was intended as a method for individuals of the public who were not comfortable or distrustful of the police for going to them with their complaint. The PAB was intended to be another option for citizens to feel more comfortable making a complaint to an independent body. But what the statute doesn't do is allow the PAB to investigate or investigate and or consider that complaint. But the PAB is entrusted with forwarding that complaint to the Department Internal Affairs. And because by statute, the police are obligated to investigate any citizen complaint of police misconduct that involves a member of the public, that an investigation must be done and then forwarded to the ACC, who then is statutorily responsible for looking at all the information compiled in the investigation of that complaint. The ACC also has the ability to request additional information or additional investigation. And then the ACC is the body who is responsible for determining whether or not a police officer's alleged misconduct, whether they are at fault for that. So it is a structure intended for different, the legislature designed it so that citizens didn't have to go to the police department if they felt uncomfortable doing so by having another body to submit their allegations to. So that's kind of really, I hope, explains why the PAB does not investigate individual complaints.
And just to quickly, I hate to belabor the point, but the administrative charging committee is 5 members of the public. There's no law enforcement on that body. There's nobody who works for Baltimore County on that body. Don DeShawn Fuhrer, who's on our PAB, is 1 member. 2 members were appointed by the Police Accountability Board back in 2023, and 2 members are selected by the county executive after public interview or a public application and interview. So it is a civilian body. It is not a body that is employed by or works with the Baltimore County Police Department. It's an independent group in and of itself, similar to the PAB. They're 2 separate independent civilian bodies. I do see Kara has her hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering, so with the idea of somebody being afraid to announce to the, to request information to the police, is there wording that that request immediately then goes to the police?
Yes, the
Okay.
statute provides there's that.
When the person puts that information on our website, does it say that this is now going to go to internal affairs?
I need to check the language there, but they all go to internal affairs.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that part. I just want to make sure that if the intention is that we are creating a safe space for these people to announce a concern, I feel like they should be made aware that immediately from that announcement that information will be sent to internal affairs.
Sure. And I appreciate that, and I'll look into what the language I can't do right this second with the
Yeah,
timeline.
of course.
I appreciate it.
All right. All right, thank you, Dr. Tolson. Next public comment? Yes, Ms. Riskett?
Can I be heard?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Probably the microphone there probably will pick you up there.
Thank you. Chief, thank you. Thank you. Council. For the record, my name is Peter Richkus, and I live in Towson and have for many years. And along with Dr. Tolson, I want to express my thanks to the police department and to the many fine officers that I've come into contact with and the work that you do to keep our community safe. I also appreciate you coming here and bringing your counsel because obviously you're responding to public backlash that was received by the board in conjunction with their most recent vote for the PAB not to have access to the complaints that come in to the PAB. And I understand the attorney's explanation of the law, but as member Kara White mentioned, the impression that has been given to the public all along is that it's a process to protect the public and to, yes, promote police accountability, but also improvement where improvement might be needed. And any organization is subject to improvement. The law does not prohibit PABs from actually reading the complaints. We in the advocacy community, we're not asking the board to investigate the complaints as they came in, but merely to understand what the complaints are and see them for themselves before passing them along. Otherwise, as we tried to explain, how else can the board really make fully informed recommendations for improvement? I did not get a reply to my letter following up the last meeting. and my continued concern about the vote. The Banner wrote up an article that described our concerns and the fact that Baltimore County is not alone in this regard. My discussion with my own district representative, Scott Richmond, about the law was that if the law does not prohibit, then the board itself can decide for Baltimore County or any other county. Since the board chooses not to, has chosen by majority vote, not to read the complaints as they come into the board, I thought maybe they had not seen this article. So I'd like to share it that way.
Okay.
But I would like to just add, if I may take a few more seconds, Chairman, that there should be more public outreach than has been provided here to date. Obviously, there could be more explanation of the process, which is a labyrinthian one, as it was set up by the legislature, for a lot of reasons, including the fact that there were many amendments to the law as it went through the sausage-making process in Annapolis. On a final note, if I may, I'd like to suggest that with regard to the police department's involvement with ICE, that more training is warranted. This recent incident at Ross earlier this month in Catonsville says to me that the police don't understand that any ICE warrant is a civil warrant, and therefore the police department need not be involved unless there's a prearrangement to do so and to create a criminal. I appreciate the indulgence and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Any other public comment? Again, thank those of you who've had comments today and appreciate it so very much.
I have an answer to Kara's question. Our website does say each complaint of police misconduct filed with the PAB must be forwarded to the appropriate law enforcement agency within 3 days of receipt.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Kara, did you hear that?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. All righty. Very good. Anything else, Henry, that we needed?
No, just to thank everybody.
Yep.
Again, the opportunity to be in this position and to work with a great group of individuals who I think are really,
Ms.
Yeah.
Landers would like to.
Oh,
comment.
all right,
I just
sure.
read that.
that's okay.
Who do we miss?
Ms. Landers.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good to be with you again. I would like to comment that I also have heard from a couple of legislators that they were stunned that this law would be interpreted to prevent the PAB from accepting complaints directly. And frankly, perhaps we will see clarification through the legislative process or through other means, other judicial means, because it is not something that is agreed on. And the state advisory police commission, or however it is formally called, is representing the police point of view. So it is not the final word on interpreting law in this regard. I also would like to have you consider inviting representatives from the ACC to come and present and to indicate beyond the numbers, but what kinds of trends are they seeing? Where are these complaints coming from district-wise? And the kinds of changes they would recommend to policing and holding police accountable based on the kind of complaints they are receiving. Even if in deliberation they have decided it does not, a certain offense does not warrant a violation of, or being found guilty of a misconduct charge, they may find that perhaps the county needs to make a change in how our police are operating so that people aren't complaining because this XYZ kind of action that police are taking or in ways they are behaving may not violate the law, but they are certainly not how we would like to see our police interacting with the public in Baltimore County. Thanks.
Thank you so very much.
Ms. Lander, could I address?
Please.
So I don't want you to leave this meeting with the thinking that the police believe that the PAB cannot receive complaints from the public. That is one of their statutorily defined roles. It's just that when they receive those complaints, the only thing that they can do with them by statute is forward them to the police department. It's then incumbent upon the police department to investigate and report their findings to the ACC, and the ACC then determines whether or not a violation of policy occurred. As far as a violation of law, that would be for the local state's attorney and or the independent investigation division of the Attorney General's office to determine whether a violation of law occurred. But the ACC primarily is concerned with whether a officer violated department policy. So I just want that clarification because you said that you seem to indicate that we believe that the PAB was not permitted to receive complaints, and in fact that's what it says exactly in the statute. Thank you.
I can respond to the ACC part. So I'm on the ACC and I do come and present at every meeting. If where the complaints are coming from is something that we are able to disclose, not individually, not like saying this use of force came from precinct X, just generally like grouping the numbers together. If that's something that the board decides would be helpful, I'm happy to take that back to the ACC and see if we can start compiling those numbers each meeting as we go and put that on my report. Anything else that the ACC discusses outside of closed session that would be helpful to the PAB, I always bring that back also. And the ACC members know when our meetings are, so they're welcome to come also.
And just to piggyback on that, I believe that you brought at the end of last year, the recommendations from the ACC as far as policy changes. So that's something they're attuned to as well.
Awesome. Again, thank you so very much for your comment, Ms. Landers. With that being said, if there's no more comments for today, I think we are close to adjourning.
I think so.
Make a motion to adjourn until September 15th, 2025 at noon, where we will meet here in room 118 of the courthouse and by 11.
All right, got a motion on the floor? Can I get a second?
A second.
All right, then probably moved in second that we adjourn this meeting and we'll plan to meet again on September the 15th, 2025 here in room 118 in this Towson Historic Courthouse. Until then, go safely. God bless you. We'll see you then.
Thank
All right.
Thank you.